April 12th, 2022. I'm nauseous. I ate before brushing my teeth and sleeping last night. I don't really know what it was that made me so nauseous. I believe it was the processed foods that I had gotten from the restaurant. And I had only bought from one restaurant yesterday and had it throughout the day. Plus I had that excess amount of sugar through that shake, and then that cookie, and then a bunch of random bullshit snacks. So now I know, yes, why I've got nasty gurgling and I'm not even hungry this morning. It's gonna be about 10 a.m. and I woke up a couple of hours ago and have spent approximately 30-45 minutes on the phone with Kroger Company, the corporate, customer service representatives, because I went to a location. I was passing by an area and I was overcharged for an item because it didn't ring through. And then when I went in to ask for the money, the woman, and I think I relayed part of this story on one of my videos, but the woman, oh my God. I checked on my insurance card, the Healthy Foods insurance card that I had used to purchase the items, and I should have gotten credited back on that stuff. She charged me 7 cents to deal with her during that first transaction, handed me 14 cents, and said, "Have a great day." Didn't give me the price of the product back. That was it. That was the money exchanged. 7 cents taken from my insurance card, and she handed me 14 cents. But the difference was $2. So I was very confused, and I told her, I said, on the receipt, it shows that you did not credit me back properly. And she said, no, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It says right here. It says right here, it says this. And this is how she was talking and all that. And I don't mean to be rude. But when you piss me off and you waste my goddamn time, you didn't just waste the 15 minutes it took to return the item. You also made me have to tell the corporate office about the circumstance because I'm a disabled citizen that suffers from post-traumatic stress and social anxiety, and I can't seem to manage to communicate with the locals around me or, the people around me because they don't understand and comprehend how to do their jobs. So then I have to let them know these are the types of individuals that you're paying to promote your offices, your businesses. And I don't mean to be rude and talk like that, because I knew when I first saw her, I thought she had a mental disability because of the way she spoke. And also because of the way she looked. Let's not be, whatever. Aesthetics have a lot to do with life. And I had to figure that out. I had to go around and be treated like that in order for people to realize, oh, wait, she's just overweight. She's just ugly, but she's not stupid and incompetent like some of these other people in these positions at these jobs. So, yeah, I just spent fucking 45 minutes over the phone talking to someone, and it aggravates me. I have to get out my frustration about it. Then I can move about my day and just be done with it. But the fact of it is that when I got the first customer service representative, after I'd gotten done explaining and disclosing to her what the situation was, and I was actually very calm with my temperament, I was aggravated, but I wasn't getting violent or verbally, accosting anyone. But because I was using large words while I was disclosing it to this woman, and I don't mean to be rude, but she said the word axe, so you can understand where that person's mindset was as the customer service representative. When I got through and she asked me, is there anything else you want to add to this? I said, well, yes, you didn't ask me what time it was at. You didn't ask me, I've got the rest of the receipts here. You didn't ask me what the time frames were so that they could look on the cameras and know who they're dealing with and know the interaction and understand where I've been polite. I've been plenty polite to people. And I don't go around trying to belittle them. I'm actually very, very nice. Too nice. And the customer service representative said, well, you didn't let me start. You didn't let me ask my questions. I wasn't done. I wasn't did blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what? I said, excuse me, ma'am. I said, excuse me, you need to lower your voice. I said, you're the customer service representative in this circumstance. And I just went about passively, telling her back, informing her, reprimanding her. I said, what? And she said, is there anything else? And before she was trying to hang up on me and everything, it was very, very confusing. When I get these types of interactions, I get more pissed off. And I don't just get pissed off and start harassing them verbally, getting all hyped. Majority of the time, I do not. I told her, I said, what's your name? I'm also going to relay this conversation and file a complaint toward the way that you responded. Because if you're in a position to be helping customers that are already aggravated due to trying to file a complaint, you shouldn't be approaching them in that manner. Nor should you, not ask the proper questions. So she was reprimanding me because she didn't ask the proper questions because I didn't give her enough time. She said she was being quiet so I could relay my story. And I understand that. But I give people plenty of time and I just tell them over the phone, like, this is how it is. But since I have such a heightened terminology, people always presume that I'm belittling them because they don't understand what I'm saying. And they don't ask. They don't ask. Because if they asked, then they would look stupid. So they just don't want to ask. And they don't want to ask how certain pronunciations of words are either, because it's obviously not spelled that way. Axe. But, if that's how you want to pronounce it, if that's how you were raised, then that's fine. Don't appropriate yourself with the rest of the world and don't acknowledge where they're coming from. And then when they look at you like you're dumb for saying things inaccurately, I'm sorry, but this is how the world is. And axing me about shit. And, I try to pronounce things properly. I try to go back and see it from the culture's perspective. But axe was in the English language and like British English as well. And I'm pretty sure it's spelled A-S-K. Ask. So I'm not sure why people aren't able to do that form, or if it's just some type of, Ebonics has always evaded me because I didn't go to public school. So when I'm nice to people, and I didn't say anything to her over the phone and like that. I said, well, maybe you should learn how to talk. I didn't say that. But now I'm just relaying it for you to understand. This is how I think. This is how everyone thinks in that way. Majority of people will think the same thing. If you are not cultured enough and you want to get paid by these corporate offices and not asking me the proper questions when I was the customer, just commenting on this, reprimanding someone else, and you got hyped up, I don't know what to tell you. I called in a secondary time and filed the same complaint because I cannot trust the customer service representatives that are getting mentally unhinged due to what? I literally didn't do anything to you. I literally told you need to ask me the proper questions because you didn't ask what time it was when I did the transactions. So I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, miss. Like, I'm trying to be polite here, but apparently not polite enough to where you got offended and you were envious or something of whatever, and you just wanted to accost me and reprimand me over the phone. I'm like, I'm sorry, I should have waited for you to ask. So, but for me, that's where it's like, I get pissed off. I have to push back all these emotions now because I have no one else to talk to. And I don't want to laugh about people behind their back. I don't want to, it hurts me physically to be mean to other people. People don't think that. Oh, it hurts me. It like violates my soul to have to demean anyone or belittle them in such a way, when I know that it's just that they didn't have as many privileges, say, as I had. So that's very sad. I'm very, very sad that I had to call in, and I even asked her, I said, I'm going to need your name, and I'm going to inform the corporate office that this is how you acted, and hopefully this phone call in particular was recorded so that they will understand the types of people that they're paying. But they don't pay me. They literally steal from my transactions, and all I do is coupon. And Kroger's known me for years. I've been a Kroger customer, a loyal customer for approximately 14, 15 years now that I was exposed to Kroger, corporate offices and stuff, or, corporate businesses, or, the Kroger name. And I have said nothing but good things about them. And the way that they have these products available at a low, affordable rate, plus they have those digital coupons that work in conjunction with each other and the sales, I cannot tell you how pleased I am with the Kroger company, the business itself. And even a lot of the employees that I've leave positive commentary for, because I know that they're striving to do their best, and they will, if they do not have the answer for something, seek it out and find it. I love Kroger company, like the business, Kroger grocery stores. They are amazing. You always find sales here and there, and I love that they discount things. I've always mentioned that when I leave my commentary. I'm sure that they have like a built up, saved all the times I've left positive comments toward their company. And people don't realize that it hypes me up in my day. So when I called back, and it makes me very emotional toward everything, and I'm just thinking, like, why did I have to get yelled at? And why did I, why did I have to go through these things so that I have to feel like shit? And it's like, most people are just like, get over it. No, you don't understand. I only have so much money. I only have so much this and that. That's why I go and I specifically look for these items. It's about the principle of the thing. And Kroger knows that, because they've often given me back. And, the free items that you get on the digital app, it is completely worth it to shop through that business. Completely. They literally will offer you money back just to go and look at their stores and everything like that. I love it. They offer such a wide variety of products as well that aren't just vegan. But then they switched over and they started doing a lot of the organic. I completely love them. I cannot preach about them enough. And I wish that there were some ways where it's like, pay me, come on now. I lost all this weight, losing, using your coupons, utilizing your facilities, all this money that you gave me back, $1 here, $2 here, it all added up. And that's how I was able to finance myself through homelessness. And that's where it's funny to me, because I have such positive things to say about people most of the time. But then when I have to sit there and belittle people, I'm very emotional right now. Very upset that I had to relay my confusion and my frustration in such a way that it made others look worse than me. Because I don't want to look better. I just want to do and have things done properly so I can go about my day and not have to waste 2 hours of my damn time, or 5 hours or 6 hours just thinking about it and seething into those emotions of having been not mistreated. Well, yes, the one mistreated me, but then, the other ones, mishandled. So when I ended up calling back that secondary time and speaking to another representative, well, the first time, I made 3 phone calls. The first time I was actually accidentally disconnected, and she tried to call back 3 times. Lovely young lady. The representative did a wonderful job. I ended up getting her again when I called back. So when I was able to issue the complaint finally about the store, and also about the customer service, over the phone representative that screamed at me, she was apologetic. She was very good. I said, you're an asset to your team because you diffused my frustrations at this point. I'm very grateful to you. And this is how I approach people. This, a majority of the time, it's like, okay, well, you're trying to do something for me. I am, going to appropriate myself in a manner that is not going to harm you as best I can, unless you're frustrating me. It's like, I'm confused. What? Excuse me, what? So she was very cordial. And then after I disclosed all of my issues with her, I'm just hopeful that the Kroger company rationalizes what I've gone through. I don't want to be compensated for everything. It's not like that. But when I tell people, do you realize that not only one mistake will lead to numerous other mistakes, but it's sort of a flow of that negative energy, and then you have to sustain those feelings and those emotions and those mental breaks throughout your day, week, month, whatever, years later, when you think about the circumstance, It's a chain reaction. So the one person not placing that sticker properly on that package, that's what I wanted to convey. They need to do the things properly so that all of this doesn't happen. This explosion does not happen, you know, like setting off a fucking atomic bomb. So that's funny to me because I'm like, I don't even have that much. I have so many stories, but because I look a certain way, because I act a certain way, because I talk about people in a certain way, everyone gets butthurt and offended. And I'm like, there's nothing to be offended about. I love everyone in a certain way. I appreciate them for doing their jobs. But then when they don't do it correctly, or if I'm encountering someone that is just inappropriate in such a way, and even just as a civilian, like myself, like, back up, stay your 6 feet away, don't breathe on me, don't look at me, don't assault me, harass me, don't talk to me. So, and that's how it is nowadays. Like, you can't trust anybody. And I had to rationalize that through the, rationalize. I hate now that I use that sometimes. My baby kicks me. I've got such a fatty soft roll today. It went from being super hard yesterday to being like super soft, like he moves back and forth within my body like that. The uterus and whatever. I don't know, maybe it was positioning from sleeping or whatnot. So I feel like I could probably like place my belly in and squeeze it in. I would look thinner today probably if I went to I need to shower. I mean, I washed up last night and everything, but and in rinsing off and everything, that's very healthy to get the bacteria, as I was having like throughout the day. I don't mean to be disgusting, but like feminine discharge, it happens, and sometimes it was like itchy, and I'm like, why is it so itchy? But it's just hormones. It's just the way it reacts against my skin. I'm very sensitive skin, very sensitive everything apparently. And I feel terrible for having that interaction, for thinking the negative thoughts toward other people when in actuality they're just trying to live their lives too. But if you're working and you're getting paid to do something, please do it correctly, or you are going to destroy my fucking day. And that is very, very discouraging, and it's very just time consuming, having to reprimand people. And they're like, well, don't be a Karen then. Just shut your mouth and let them get away with it. They don't matter in the long run anyway. But it matters to me because they got into my sphere, and I don't have all the money in the goddamn world right now. I don't have anything. I don't have access to much. I keep what I keep. I maintain it so that I can inevitably have what I need to survive. And all of these things are just, it's weird. My life is weird. I see things from a different perspective than most people. I feel as though your energy shouldn't impede on mine in a negative way if I'm just trying to give you my hard-earned money, I'm literally trying to exchange things with you, bartering with you in that way, and to sit there and take from my reality, and not just my last few cents, but like to turn around, it causes a chain reaction for me where I don't have money for the laundromat. I don't have money for this and that, and I shouldn't have to worry about that stuff anymore. I have snapped years ago. My story is very, very strange, and that's why I'm not able to promote things, because technically I'm disabled. Technically I'm a child abuser or some shit. I don't know what they've got filed, but it's insane. They've got some crazy shit in the files, because when that one girl, when my ex-boyfriend's daughter, when he beat the shit out of her, I was like, what? She was in the car, and he yanked her out and started beating the shit out of her, and I was like, I was so overweight. I was like, whoa. And so he beat the shit out of his daughter, and then it went to court, and she started speaking out against me and saying that I called her a bitch and that I mistreated her. And I'm like, yeah, I called you a bitch, probably because you were acting like a bitch. You're 13 years old. You hear worse at school. Don't play with me. You go to public schools. So And I didn't call her a bitch in that sense. It was never to the point where I demean people, where it's like, you're a fucking cunty bitch, fuck this and that. No, it must have been through passing or whatever. We had a lot of fun together. I literally spent a lot of time, effort, money to try to make her comfortable while I was dating her dad. And it was a stupid thing to do, because he's actually very slow-minded. I knew he was slow, but he was also very compassionate. And I mostly go for the compassion in people, and not the aesthetics, and not the money, and not this and that, because I'm an actual human being, that I see people for who they are. And sometimes these people, they reach out, they want to take from my reality. I allow it sometimes, because I think to myself, if you're that needy and you need someone to take advantage of, then go for it. My life is not worth much anyway to me or anyone around me. So might as well just take from me, so you don't have to steal from someone else. That's how I figure it. Just sacrifice me in the process of, if that's what you want is your gains. So, but yeah, I feel like there's a lot of times where I'm misunderstood in that way, where people think, oh, she's manipulative, she's thought about this for years in advance, or this and this and this. No, every fragment of my being goes from moment to moment. There's nothing that has been premeditated in that way. And that's what people find hilarious about me, because sometimes I will give you a genuine reaction and I am horrified, and people are actually horrified because I'm horrified. And I'm like, well, hold on, you're not seeing, I barely was exposed to the world when I was a child. Like, my parents did not allow me to do much but watch a lot of Disney. I watched anime. I watched whatever the public television systems, whatever they had on TV for a little while, and video games with my brothers. But I wasn't out there seeking all of these things. I wasn't partying. I wasn't the girl that was caught at, I wouldn't go down in my brother's, the basement where they would have all the gang members and everything like that, and they would party and smoke weed and do drugs and all this stuff. I avoided it, especially when they were there. But then I had to do laundry every once in a while and had to interact with those nasty friends that my brother had. And he even pushed me off on one of the guys that was like in his 20s or something. Like, if that's not statutory rape, I don't know what the fuck is. So, and I didn't know it. I didn't know it. He had like flirted with me and everything, and then inevitably it built up where I had like some trust with the guy, and his actual like street name or whatever, his gang name was Beast. And I'm traumatized by that, because I remember him banging me in the backseat of a car one time, and I was like, I didn't ask for that. Like, it's just like those things, like, where it's like I was trying to appropriate myself and be better than my circumstances. So, and my brother allowed it. He said he was always there to protect me, and he wasn't. He literally pawned me off on that man, and literally got like probably something in exchange for allowing him to do it. So my brother was not a nice person. He still isn't. He's a felon. And I had to see that finally. I had to realize what had really gone on, because he was so manipulative, and he burst into tears at any moment. He's very, very good at that. He's very good at manipulating others' emotions. And everybody had wondered, like, am I like that? And do I do that? No, my tears are genuine. And if I'm really pissed off, then you're going to see them. If I'm very upset and angry, you're going to see my tears, because instead of me acting out violently, that's what happens. And that's even worse to me, because it's like you're sending off a vibration. You don't even know who the fuck you're fucking with, because I am the most calm and patient person and loving. And I try to see it from everyone's perspective. And I really don't want to hurt others. Not verbally, not physically, not, emotionally, none of that. I don't want to scar anyone or gaslight them. So when all these things happen and people have started to realize, like, those big eyes, they look like they're, very comical. Like, I look very, very fake to a lot of people. People have asked me, are you real? I'm like, yeah, I guess it's just my features that people don't want to engage with. I look weird, and they don't believe my reactions are genuine. because they think that but no, I was just very mistreated as a child. My eyes get huge and I look at people in weird ways because they're weird to me, because I've never been exposed to this. And now all of a sudden I'm exposed to the real world, and it's like, wow, this doesn't seem like what I was, the information I got from television or my schools, my Catholic schools, and even my cousins. And people always said, like, don't tell Leticia things. Don't tell her stuff like that. Don't, and a lot of times I thought it was for my own protection, that they were trying to protect me from reality, to shelter me. But it wasn't just sheltering me in that way. It was sort of like making it unrealistic for me, because when I started dating and everything, and I didn't realize that men only just wanted pussy, men just wanted to fuck, and that was it. I wasn't really informed of that. I didn't have a good mother. I didn't have a good, sister as a role model. I didn't have anybody that was going to help me with relationship issues, and I knew that. And my mother would say things to me like, I don't know, my mother's always been really creepy. My mother's a creep. I don't know. Always asking me invasive questions, always doing invasive things toward me. I don't even know. I just don't even know. Some days I just want to snap and just be like, I want to do all kinds of fucked up shit, but then I'm like, no, because then you'll end up hurting yourself in the long run. Even like today, from being gassy and bloated. Yes, I regret having so many processed foods. Yes, I regret it. I wish I could have some fresh fruits and vegetables right now. I wish I had a place to stay so I could make myself salads so that it would be more cost efficient. But I have no means of doing any of this stuff. And I don't ask for anything from anyone. A little compensation when they piss me off now, because I realize, oh shit, my time is worth money. What's going on? Like, I should have been a writer by now. I should have been this and that. I should have been, on top of the world. But instead I have more added to my story, and it's like I'm overwhelmed. I've got all my arms and hands and my feet, even trying to balance everything out, just trying to. It's comical to me because I like to draw certain things like that, or in my mind I think of it very imaginatively and like cartoonishly in that way. And I wish I could draw everything that it goes on in my mind, or relay it. Or I wanted to write children's books in order to like help kids through coping with anything like these issues, but in a gentle manner, in a way that's not going to horrify and scar them for the rest of their lives, from like having to say, watch a video like this where it's like, oh, what is she talking about? Holy fuck. Yeah. So, and everybody's got their different hats they wear. Look at Dr. Seuss. He had, all those children's books, and he was, it was widely spread that he was like this wonderful like family man, and then he also was drawing perversions in other books and like nudity and everything. And interesting, just is very interesting. Everybody's got their different facets, and everyone suffers from mental distortions and illnesses, and they just don't want to disclose them or clarify it, and they're in denial. Just like that woman that, didn't ask me the right questions. I mentioned to that next representative, I said, she's obviously mentally strained. She needs another job or some time out, by being fired, because that's not how you approach a customer that's already aggravated. And I was not getting hyped. And I know when I'm getting hyped, but from everyone else's perspective, my large words are being hyped. And I'm like, what? No. That's why I try to clarify. That's why you've got me in such a fucking calm mood right now, because I already disclosed it. I'm good. I'm going to do the survey still, but I'm taking a break in between these things because I'm so aggravated when I have to deal with the real world, Real world. What? Excuse me, what? Question mark. But and that's why I don't edit any of my material. I have no means to do it. I have no reason to. There's no reason to edit this stuff or to make myself out to be some type of, genius, or some type of, prophet in that way, or some weird stuff that I've got all the knowledge in the world. I don't have every bit of knowledge, but it's accumulating itself into something that I can't really control. I all of a sudden have answers to things I shouldn't have had. And people are questioning that. They're like, well, how are you able to do all these things? You were never able to do the splits when you were a child. How can you do the splits easily now? That, why is it that you're so advanced in that way that you pick up on something and you run with it, and then you're good at it, and then that's just how it is? I don't know. I'm really not sure. I think it's just my natural demeanor. I just don't think anybody allowed me to be myself and allowed me to express myself how I should, or to be able to expand my horizons in such a way to where it was like learning different facets of life or different areas. And now that I've got a little bit of information about everything, what's the word? I know, I haven't used it in years. Sometimes it goes in and out of my logs of, where a little bit about every little category, and you're sort of well-versed, just sort of balanced in that way. And that's how I like to be. I like to have a little bit of knowledge in every topic here and there, and find the things that I enjoy and run with them. And a lot of it is very playful and childish, and people think that I'm just naive, or just that, that I'm faking it, or, that's how I comfort myself now. And I have to revert back to those child comforts, childhood comforts of watching cartoons and resting and taking naps and eating snacks and things, all this stuff, because that's how I manage. That's how I deal with my day. I cannot go beyond that. I've already snapped. I don't have enough right now. I don't have my daughter's love, and now I'm making another baby, and I don't have the father of this baby's love, and that's hurtful. That makes me feel like nothing, absolutely nothing to myself and no one. And then I generally didn't speak up about anything, and now all of a sudden I'm speaking up about everything, and people understand. This bitch ain't lying. This bitch is seeing, finally letting it out through her perspective. And if other people don't want to engage, if other people want to think that, oh my God, you can't say that years ago you snapped and then all of a sudden blah 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 have a change. Bitch, you don't even know how many psych meds I was on. So yeah, I had a detachment toward life that most people don't even rationalize, because they didn't have that. They weren't forced into another plane of existence for so long where they had to shove pills down their throat just to walk out the door. So, yeah. Go on with your bad self. Go on. Trying to tell me what's up. No, that's not what happened. I was taken advantage of. I didn't have my wits about me during all of these years, especially when I was sleeping next to fucking Jason Wallace. I thought about him last night in a perverse way. Because I'm a pervert. Because that's how it is. It's how normal people are, and we just need to get over it so that people aren't, freaked out. Like I saw this thing about this kid that was getting like sextorted, where he had taken provocative photos online, and then they were claiming they needed money, or they would send it to all their family and friends. And I'm thinking, if you did it, just be honest about it. Oops, I did it. Sorry, my dick is out there. My pictures of my dick. That's why I tell people, and I tell people about my horrible detachments too, my mental detachments of doing all these crazy things, and gross. Who wants to know that? And I'm thinking, there's a lot of people that actually think it's very interesting. My life is a very intriguing thing, and people tell me you're a very interesting person. I've never met anybody like you. Too honest at points. Too honest. We've all gone through things like this here and there. Just because you can't admit to it, just because you can't publicize it, doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Epstein, what's wrong with you? Just because things don't get publicized here and there doesn't mean that you're not sick and deranged. Just because you lie about it makes you even worse. Makes you a fucking sociopath. That's true. So the fact that people can't relay their honest truths make them sociopaths. And a lot of people are like, I'm proud of that. I'd, rather people see one side of me, a fake persona, because they don't realize I like to shove stuff in my butt behind closed doors. And one time there's a hamster. What? Just be honest about it. These people are crazy. We all go through our weird, hormonal stages and like becoming, what is the word? Just our, libidos, our sexual activity and everything, curiosities. And everybody gets shunned for it. Like, why? Like, why? That's why everybody's going crazy and selling photos of themselves nude and everything, and then presuming it's not going to get back around. Of course it's going to get back around. Of course it is. The shit's not going to disappear. The web, the internet and all that, that's like, well, it could, but what I'm saying is like, there's access to things all over the place. You can't just delete stuff that gets put on the internet. People are crazy. I don't know how to access it yet, but that doesn't mean in the future I won't. So, who knows what's in store for my future, because I convey a part of the world that most people can't engage with and rationalize because they think that it's only on movies. I'm sorry, what? Did you not see the scientific articles or this and this and this in certain magazines and certain this and that clarify that those things actually exist? Excuse me, what? And you think it's in a movie? That's how naive and stupid you are? That you literally think that it's just a motion picture, and you really think that they're not trying to give us bits and pieces of our own reality in a form that we're able to engage with, so that we're not horrified that this stuff is actually going on in the world around us? I don't know. People are weird. They want to be in denial. They want to believe certain things. And if you believe certain things don't exist because they're just in the movies, where do you think they get these ideas from? Where do you think that they get this information from? What's wrong with you? Now, maybe not everything is fathomable, feasible, but that doesn't mean that everything is what? Confusing. You people are confusing. Anyway, April 12th, 2022, my stomach has started, I think maybe I just need some water and activity, but then I get hungry immediately when I start moving, and it's just like, why is my life this way? Why can't I just have some rest? Why do I have to relay this in my real life stories and traumas? Why? Just give me a safe place to go and be by myself again so that no one knows that I exist again. I don't want to. And also, too, the fact that you stole my stuff, you owe me. That's how it fucking works. Like, you literally allowed these crazies to rob from me, and then you put them on pedestals like they're fucking champions for destroying a good person, and you think karma's not going to come back around. What's wrong with you people? What's wrong with you? I'm very sad. I'm very upset today. I shouldn't have had to get all riled up because of this. I shouldn't have had to relay this stupidity. It shouldn't exist. Just do your job. Just listen to the fucking victim. Crazies. Now I've got to go get some breakfast or something. Warm up my oatmeal or get a bagel. Probably just go get a bagel. Got avocado. And I was going to go to the grocery store, but then I was like, what the hell? I'm sad. My baby moves around all the time. I'm sad. I want to love it, and I want to be like, hey, buddy, we're going to have a wonderful life when you get out of there. But I wasn't privileged like the other pretty girls. Pretty girls get privileges, and not ugly ones. And not ones that are too smart for their own good. Because then everyone thinks I'm trying to be a smart ass. And in actuality, I'm like, no, I'm just telling you the facts from my perspective. Quit fucking with me. I'm very sad. Why are people crazy? Why does this stuff happen? There's something wrong. There's something very wrong. I'm not even hungry. It's more just I want to try to fix what's going on in my digestive system by eating something wholesome. I'm sad. I am so, so sad.